After 16 long weeks of clarity and cloudiness, of moments of upsets and beatdowns, we are here at the end and we will finally be able to find out who is going to finish in 8th place. Let's get to it. That stuff. And onto some of the new designs. The black and the Saints.
I'm officially giving up on Casey Hill. I'm sorry. Welcome to the Chuck and Dave pod. Oh, I haven't muted. Sorry, go ahead again, Chuck, please.
I'm Chuck.
I'm Dave.
Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to Championship Week pod.
Championship week.
It's been quite the week.
Could have opened it with a picture of this beaut.
Oh, look at that.
Someone will be taking this home.
Actually, somebody will be taking this home.
There it is. That's right. We don't pass them on here.
No passing on. You get your own trophy.
We do. We got to retcon and give back ones. Wouldn't you be feeling great to get 2 trophies this year?
Wouldn't I be? Wouldn't I feel great getting 2 trophies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Reliving those glory days.
Way back in the day.
Duh, Bears.
Bears, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well,
That's all I can look to.
We hope everybody had a great Christmas. It certainly was an exciting Monday of football.
Yeah. I mean, semifinals week lived up to its name, and the fact that it just it came down to the wire pretty much for most games.
Yes, it definitely did. You couldn't have orchestrated it better. We got to give props to Josh, Commissioner Josh, and his immense foresight. I guess
that he was able to script this out perfectly.
I got to say, I'm still not entirely sure. His one post that he made on there where he said something to the effect of "Merry Christmas. The league has gotten better ever since I've been the commish." I don't know if you saw that one.
I remember seeing it.
Trying to see if I can find it.
I don't think it registered like that, but now that you read it, I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically
throwing me under the bus there.
Yeah, I mean, it has grown exponentially under his care, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, there he said, "Merry Christmas from the commish, making a great league better every year."
Yeah. I mean, was it his tutelage or
I think it's the consortium of terrific owners around the league that we have that make this league successful.
It's true. Yes, there is an actual trophy, Alex. Sorry, I didn't pull up chat, so I wasn't reading your guys's. Does Jordan get anything for second place? No.
Everyone will probably get some
yeah, you get
some other awards.
You get awards.
Not just participation awards. True Blue earned awards. True Blue earned awards. That actually makes me curious. I'm gonna look right now. I'm curious who currently has the most medals in the league. We haven't checked in a little bit. All right. You got a guess here?
Who has the most medals?
Yeah, there are 56 possible medals.
I'm curious because I'm trying to think of who had the most the last time we did this game.
I think it wasn't Alex. I remember that. It was.
I want to say Sam.
Might have been him. Sam is third with 26 medals. I'm in second with 27, and Todd is the medal champion with 30 medals right now.
Wow.
And you are in 8th. You have gotten 17.
Half the medals.
But if you get just 2 more, you can pass Kara for 7th.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. The medal count, of course, the most prestigious of the awards.
Yes,
that we have here.
Totally keep track of all that stuff.
On things. Well, yes, we did have a terrific semifinal showdown here. Even the probably the least compelling affair would have been the 5th place game.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps we start there.
Yeah, let's start there.
So many people didn't realize there was a 5th place game going on. I do believe the nincompoops may not have been aware, even that there was a game going on this week. Would not shock me. But yes, the nincompoops take 6th place, 121 to 87. They will officially have the 5th pick in the draft, and Josh will have they'll have the 4th pick in the draft, and Josh will have the 3rd pick in the draft next year.
Mm-hmm.
The Ninny Poops, what did I wrote here? The name, I have no idea what I wrote there.
The Ninnies?
I have no idea what I wrote there. Oh, interesting. And I think I put this on Discord, but I don't know if it really got noticed by too many. If we had just a 4-team championship, this week's championship would have Sam in it.
Oh, really?
And even though it's a little hard to tell because there would have been one more regular season week, but because of how it went the week before, I don't think Sam could have taken 3rd place. So he would have been the 4th seed. And it would have been maybe me and Alex would have switched, but it wouldn't make a difference how the scores went. Todd still would have won, and Sam would have won.
So if it was 4th, it was a 4-team playoff. It would be the Ninnies versus the Blue Golds.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it would.
That is really.
So he's the biggest loser in our format change this year.
Wow. That's a shame.
I know. I haven't been able to break it to him yet, but I know he's watching. He's a very faithful viewer.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, he's here every week.
He's there waiting.
He's the silent. He's our silent.
It's the silent one. Yep.
The silent one.
A couple things here. The Jackals average just 93 points per game in the playoffs, which honestly isn't far off. I mean, it's probably a little worse, but they really were never a huge threat going into things here. They took their 4th favored loss of the year. Hoops picked up their 4th underdog win of the year. And I did add point differential to things that I'm calculating this year. The Jackals ended with a negative 144 point differential.
Wow.
And the Ninnies ended with almost, sorry about that, the dog is on the bed here. Ended almost even at 1.12 to the good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So almost perfectly average. Some points against there. So an interesting thing that came up here. I know Jordan seemed to suggest that perhaps Josh should be looking at an inside, maybe switching up the GM or head coach, making some changes. Whereas Josh seemed to say that because he finished 2nd the previous 2 years, there's no need to be panicking and throwing out the baby with the bathwater here. Although I would like to remind everyone that 2 years ago, Josh literally only succeeded because of how insanely lucky he was with his opposing scores.
That is true.
Do it out there. 2 years ago, he had the lowest points scored by far and finished 2nd.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That takes some luck.
Well, and I mean, there was 3 years in a row there up until this year that Josh had the least points scored again.
And so my argument would be that Josh's team has just always kind of been like this, and he just wasn't lucky this year.
The luck wore off.
Luck wore off, and it was able to hold him in 2nd for 2 years. It wasn't enough to have a Cinderella story this year with things. So as far as the actual match, though, it was pretty one-sided.
Yeah. I mean, Josh could have helped himself out. He had some points on the bench. Bijan Robinson.
Of course, Bijan Robinson doomed him the week before.
Yep.
I think one of his problems was just having Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Maybe good as a keeper. I think, Atlanta will probably have a new coach next year, and they'll probably use him.
Yeah.
No, that was his 1st round pick, wasn't it? Never mind. That's a bad 1st round pick.
He picked a rookie up as his first round pick. That was an odd first round pick choice. Untested.
He had a lot of faith in him there. He must have been afraid that someone was going to scoop him up fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't have a lot. Nothing on his bench would have got him a victory. So.
No. And
Sam finally had another good week, and he was very up and down the whole year. Yep. He also benefited pretty greatly for some luck in a handful of games there. I mean, he got 121 though with a 0 for the defense, which is pretty solid. All the rest of the team really pitched in for him.
Yeah,
on that one there. So good way for them to close it out, and their seasons are completely done. They are. It's not even putting them on the screen as having a bye. They are just done.
They're just done now.
Done. So they can sit back and relax and have no stress on this last week.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Josh. I apologize. Your season didn't end the way you wanted it to, and the power of positive thinking didn't push you to the championship. But
I think next year, I heard it's just kind of rumors, nothing substantial, but I do believe they're workshopping the name the Positive Pollies next year.
Pollies. That'd be good.
Or possibly Everything is Awesome.
Everything is awesome. Something to do with Ted Lasso or something.
Yeah, that should just whatever his name is. That should be his logo. Is Ted Lasso?
Just the believe.
Just believe. The believes. I love it. So let's get into the actual semifinals.
Yeah. Let's do the Destroyers versus the Blue Golds because this one was a little less. I guess.
The thing with this one is the actual score was pretty close for a long time.
Yeah.
The projection never seemed to really, I don't know, it never felt that close until the end on Monday night. It kind of started to feel like maybe something, and then all of a sudden the Blue Golds took off and it wasn't really a race anymore. But I got to tell you, the Destroyers, Justin Tucker just about put them on his back.
Pretty much
here in the final game.
Oh my gosh!
I'll tell you what.
Thing. Go ahead.
I still regret letting Tucker go,
Mm-hmm.
but I know I don't wish him any ill. I think he found a team that he fit better with.
Kind of forgot that you had Justin Tucker.
I did while he was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so I remember watching the Miami game and the Dallas game and thinking to myself, this is going about as good as it should for my dad, for Todd, because like it wasn't a super shootout and it was a pretty big defensive. Like the game ended 22-20, but it was like fairly defensive, and it's like neither team really could get their like offensive wheels going.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was two very good teams playing each other.
So like, even though I think CeeDee Lamb at halftime, I saw he had like 18 points. So like he only got 4 points in the second half. Like he pretty much just like got most of his points in the first half, got all these receptions, and then they basically couldn't do anything for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Where like it could have gone bad. If it became a shootout and Dak Prescott is throwing to CeeDee Lamb and the score is, 40-37 or something, this could be a totally different story because if Tyreek would have gotten a few more passes thrown his way.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how much they were still kind of nursing Tyreek a little bit.
Yeah. He seemed like he wasn't in it all the entire time.
They're going to the playoffs. They're going to need him in the playoffs. Yeah. So, especially in a non-conference game.
Yeah.
It's not the most important. Meanwhile, there's not much that Alex could have done on the bench to get him a win. He lost by 17 points. And there's not enough points on the bench anywhere, I don't think, to get him those. Apparently, Jordan Love is a really good fantasy quarterback now.
Yeah. I mean,
in the right
week. I had him in the very beginning of the season, and he was okay. Like, he was okay, but I never trusted him enough to put him in.
That's the thing. He had 3 good weeks to start, and then he slumped with the team. back around week 12 there.
Yeah.
But certainly Lamar Jackson did, while doing a little worse than Love, did well. I guess.
Did well.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I talked to you, and I thought Baltimore defense was a terrible decision. I think, to be fair, I think everybody would have thought that. I think everyone thought that maybe San Francisco doesn't put up massive points, but they are too good to even give Baltimore's defense this kind of scoring. 5 interceptions. Nobody was thinking that.
Well, yeah, Brock Purdy was the MVP going into that game, the league MVP, even though I don't even think that should be even thought of. No quarterback has played well enough on their respective teams.
I mean, there
to be
should
classified as an MVP.
There should just be a rule that right now, if you're a quarterback of the 49ers, you're not eligible because anybody could go in there and look great.
Yes, they are. Because, I mean, even I watched that game, and at the end of that game,
the other guy.
Who did they throw in? I don't know. He looked great, though.
Yeah, I mean, he still threw an interception too, but.
Yeah, he threw one to seal the game, but.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would love to see McCaffrey get the MVP, to get a non-quarterback. This year for a non-quarterback to win it, it's this year. I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome that, but I don't think Lamar Jackson has been enough of an MVP to take it. I think he's going to be the front runner now, but I'd like to see a non-quarterback get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm done trying to think anything about Todd's team because obviously I don't know anything and he knows very, very well.
Yeah, his team is every time you think like, oh, he should do this, like basically it just has backfired in your face.
The Jets defense scored 8. I should have taken the Jets defense. If I would have taken their defense, I would have won.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
My dad had an interesting
update here.
Oh yeah, seems like everybody typed in at the same time. Does Jordan pretty tough for a non-quarterback to win MVP? That is true. Lamar.
That's what I'm saying. If there is a year for it, it would be this year.
Yeah.
There's really no single quarterback who's putting everything on their back. And you take McCaffrey off the 49ers, and I don't think they're even in this conversation right now.
Yeah. I mean, who's the last
I think it was 2012. I want to say, or 2010. It was a running back. I think it was Peterson. I think it was Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that was when he broke a record, though.
That's basically what it is. You're either a running back who breaks a record for our yards, or you're a quarterback.
Yeah, I know. So I mean, what hurt Alex do? Sam Laporta doing jack squat.
Mm-hmm.
In what was a 420 offensive yards game, where you'd think he's just spreading the wealth around, but not to Sam Laporta.
And Laporta's been pretty good overall. I mean, you can't blame Alex for putting him in there, but.
And then ETN kind of coming up short.
Yeah, those Jags, I don't know how much you can trust them anymore.
I mean, he's basically been a powerhouse for him. The problem is I didn't watch that game, but I looked early on and saw that it was 21-0 at one point, or 21-, or maybe it was 31-7. And you just are you can't use your running back anymore. Just say goodbye.
No. And honestly, Alex's problem is probably less extensive than my own, but both of us just got bad at the wrong time.
Yeah.
We cooled off. Both of us had our scores dip quite a bit in the last 3 weeks, and that's what happens when you got the blue gold, putting back up to big numbers there again.
Yep.
So I think that's all I've got there.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. So now this was the one everyone was watching, I think.
I may need to step out and just let you cover this one alone.
It's a pretty tough one, I think, for Chuck.
Tough pill to swallow.
I will say neither one of you guys looked particularly awesome. Nobody put up any
crazy numbers. No.
I think everybody felt like you were in pretty good shape with Puka Nacua, right off the bat, scoring 25, and you're just like sitting there going like, well, he's already got 25. He's 14 points above projected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think everyone kind of was like, well, getting ready for the beatdown to come.
I certainly thought that there was a good chance that my team was finally back after some weeks, but then Sunday happened and my kicker got hurt, which I didn't realize at first. I just kept looking at the score because I like to, I like the energy of watching it. So I like to go, I type NFL and I go to each game and I like look at my players and see what they've done. And I just keep seeing the Browns going for 2 and going for 2 and going for 2. I'm like, why in the world are they going for 2? Turns out he's hurt. So that's great. That like never happens. Kickers almost never get hurt. And then, I mean, people may have said Green Bay wasn't going to be great, but against Carolina, I don't think anybody would have said that was a bad choice to roll with them. And I thought for sure after the couple of not great defensive showings, they were going to really come together, give it one big push against the Panthers and kind of get right for at least 1 week. But I did not expect them to make the Panthers look like they were basically Super Bowl worthy.
Yeah.
In that week there. So that did not make me feel good on Sunday. And then, so we're going into Monday and I'm like, okay, I need Kelsey, I need Rice, and I need Hurts. And Kelsey has a very average game. Rice has a very average game. I'm like, but at the same time, Devontae Adams held the 1. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling okay still. I just need Hurts to put up like his projection, maybe another point or 2. Then when was the last time Hurts had a game where he didn't throw an interception and a fumble? I don't know. Like every single week, he's got a fumble and an interception.
Yeah, he's been kind of a giveaway machine lately.
He has become a turnover machine, absolutely. He picks up all these other points, but at least in our league, a pick 6 is -4.
Yeah.
That's the difference in the game.
Yeah.
Right there. So it's just, that was frustrating. And then obviously McCaffrey and Kittle in the first half of their game just going hog wild.
Yeah, actually, like at first, I only saw the back half of that. But when I was, I saw like the first quarter stats, and it didn't seem like Kittle had a whole lot of like heavy stats. And actually, it didn't seem like McCaffrey was having.
Well, Kittle caught a touchdown pretty early on.
Oh, did he catch a touchdown? I thought it was then maybe it was McCaffrey that I noticed his stats weren't like super high quite yet. But then all of a sudden, it's like you put your phone down, you pick it up, and he's got like twice as many points as he's.
Yeah, all of a sudden McCaffrey just went crazy.
Yeah. Well, because they started like Baltimore started pulling away, and you're like thinking to yourself, is McCaffrey going to be able to be utilized?
Well, the thing is he always is able to be utilized.
Yeah.
This is like one of the rare occasions where you could be down by 20 and still using the running back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, and now Jordan's team did not do well. Obviously Lawrence also did pretty poorly.
Yes.
The Denver defense didn't, I thought I was pretty nervous. Had I got Denver, of course, I'd probably win.
Yeah.
We would have had a different defense though, so it's hard to tell in that one. But it's just it wasn't a great week for him either. He got lucky to go against me at probably one of my worst for things here. What are some notes I wrote down here? 2.78. That's the difference. That's the margin.
2.78.
2.7.
I mean, again, Cooper, I'm looking at Amari Cooper now. Does he put Amari Cooper in over the people that he has? I don't think you can put Amari Cooper in over Devontae Adams, but it's like, man, 42-point difference.
Yeah. Now, obviously, he had the points on the bench to do some things. I did not. My bench was pretty bare. I debated heavily between Elliott and Metcalf, and I felt pretty good when that worked out in my favor. There was no points anywhere else, though. So it was going to be him regardless. But yeah, 2.78 was the difference. I would like to point out the Polecats have only lost 4 games this year. This is the 3rd lowest margin for me because I lost a game by, what was it here? I lost in week 1 by, where is it here? 1.17. In week 9 by 1.27.
That's crazy.
So what did I write here? 3 of my 4 losses were lost by a combined 5.2 points.
That's crazy.
So we were competitive in our losses.
That's insane.
We'll say that.
However,
However,
that is crazy.
Not the closest margin in a postseason game. The smallest margin in a postseason game was when Josh beat Jordan for 3rd place in 2019 by just 2 points.
Just 2 points.
Just 2 points. That was before we had the decimals, so it was just
that makes actually a lot more sense.
But it is the smallest margin in a game that still had championship contention.
Sure.
For things. So just tough, I guess, on that one. But the White Lightnings, this is the first time that their trade made a difference. If they didn't have Brown and they had started, maybe they would have started Cooper and it wouldn't have made a difference, but they probably would have started Debo, or maybe not against the Ravens. So maybe it doesn't make a difference. But this is the first time that had he had Debo instead of St. Brown, he would have actually lost the game as opposed to winning.
Yeah.
So I guess kudos to him for looking forward.
I will say, just looking at some stats here, I just realized Kara still has not updated her roster whatsoever, and she still scored 80 points.
She would have done pretty well in these playoffs.
She could have made
5 players that are actually playing, and she scored
80 points.
Almost beat Josh. Starting guys on IR.
Nearly beat me.
Yeah.
And I had guy. I think I had one guy.
Did you actually set your lineup this last week, or?
I think so. I thought I did. I thought maybe was there somebody that didn't start? No, it looks like everybody scored points. Oh, maybe not. Hang on. Maybe somebody was out. No. No. I got him. Everybody I had in scored me some points. So 14. The problem is Taysom Hill got me 0.2. San Francisco's D got me 3. Harrison Butker got me 1.5 points. Yeah. He stunk it up.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs stunk it up. But...
Well, yeah. But, yeah, well, she had...
This upcoming matchup, I think, is the tastiest one of the week. We'll get to it.
And we will get to that. Anyway, anything else?
There's just one last little stat here, and this is for Alex, if he's still watching. Alex, I know that out there you're still hurting from the St. Brown trade. I know that that's still eating at you. Even if you had started him, you still would have lost this game.
There you go. And you'd be out of draft. You'd be out of draft pick now too. So
you'd still be in the same boat, but you're preserved draft pick. So I think you saved yourself there.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So that's what I have on our look at things.
All right. Well, we got some very special guests on, as long as they're still up and awake. And I see Jordan's eyes are open and my dad's camera's not working.
And there
we go. He's I think here. I don't know. It just disappeared again. So without further ado, we are going to introduce not the champions, but the contenders of the championship. We've got Jordan and Todd.
Do.
Cheers. Cheers.
It's like we've got the Godfather here.
If he grew up in Canada.
I would like to point out, Jordan, before we get to any of the interviews, clearly Dave is biased this week.
A little bit.
Wearing the Bulldog rep.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I did not realize. I was repping the. This is the throwback for the Blue Golds.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not realize that. In fact, I should actually probably be biased in the opposite direction just because I have stakes in this game. Like, I have something riding on this game. So, welcome.
Welcome, champions.
Welcome.
Almost champions.
Well, one of us at least.
One of you will be a champion. Well, one of you is already a champion. One of you is hoping to get there first.
Yeah.
He's been smack talking all day.
This is good. Put it on the
Good.
Discord.
It's good.
We got a whole smack talk section.
Um,
Do we want them when we get there to be, I assume, part of, dissecting the 7th and 8th place game as well?
Sure, why not?
Good. I look forward to their insights.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to thank my competitors
Yeah.
for allowing me to play in this league and have a successful year so far. And I want to give a shout out to Dave and Kara for the 2 trades that helped elevate my team to the championship.
I don't know if you need to thank Dave for that Eckler trade. I'm not sure that's helped you.
I benched him this past
I
week.
think you did. And it was the right choice.
Yeah. He may not make an appearance in the championship game either. And if I win, Dave gets a first rounder for him.
Yeah, that's your best moment there. But, you're going for it. That's what we do now. We throw picks around.
Hey.
We do.
And before we get in the interview here, Todd, I would like to apologize for always doubting you.
Well,
I talked to Dave earlier.
There's plenty of reason to doubt me if you look at my past history.
Well, but last year you did so well, and we thought for sure you just got Sam's team on accident. But now I can see that things have just gotten better.
Well, the computer's been kind to me. Auto draft has been very kind to me.
Well, you did get graded an A.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was going to actually look that up. I think it was Jordan and I were talking about like what everybody was rated pre.
I know mine was pretty poor.
Jordan was graded a D-, and the Blue Golds were an A+. So we've got the best graded and lowest graded draft. And that draft included Kittle and McCaffrey, and it gave you a D-.
And Debo.
Dang.
At the time, but Debo had been hurt, so
Wow.
I think going into the league.
It does, but remember, Chuck, you remember during the draft days, like how all of the draft grades predicted that my dad was going to win it all.
It gave him 14-0. Didn't it make him 14-0?
One of them did 14-0. One of them had 13-1. Like one of them have not losing a single game.
Let me see. Let's look at the draft day projections again. The Blue Golds were projected to go 13-1, and the Appalachian White Lightning were projected to go 3-11.
This may be like a statistical craziness. It's like the first and the last.
I don't remember us being so down on the White Lightning in our draft talk.
I remember, Chuck, you disagreed heavily with what said about my team. I remember you thinking, I wish we could go back, and we probably can, because I think at some point you all did predict. You all gave your all's opinions of what our records would be.
I mean,
it'd be on YouTube. We can go check it out.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the post-draft pod of what we thought we were going to get. I remember us thinking that the Fighting Fergals were a pretty rough team. It was going to be difficult for her to win games.
We were right.
I think I gave myself a much higher grade than they did, but my team was much
always
worse.
Bet on yourself, right? That's always bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Well, Dave's got some questions, I believe.
Yeah, just hang on. First off, thanks for coming on.
I love the hair, Jordan.
Yeah, it's great.
Was it a hat? I thought it was a wig.
He's got his bomber hat on.
Broke.
Yeah, let me.
You thought it was a wig.
So
Jordan answers to the czar.
I guess you guys can answer. Yes, I got a Russian backer.
This is in honor of the oligarchs of our league.
Hey.
There you go. So let me ask you this. Honestly, do you guys ever think you'd be at this point? Like when you guys either made it into the playoffs or whatever, did you guys truly believe like I can make it to the championship? Or was this like, you know what? I don't really think I got the stuff. Be honest.
This is graded.
Up until 3 weeks ago, for me, no. But about
Only
3 weeks ago, I don't know. My team started kind of doing pretty well overall. For me, the change was not having the Dallas defense and putting in Baltimore's defense. They're a little more steady. And I just started scoring a decent amount of points the last 3-4 weeks.
More than that. I mean, 2 weeks ago was not great for you, but it was enough to get past Sam.
Right.
But before that, you went in with what? Starting in week 12, 154, 125, 122.
Yeah, it kind of I don't know why I didn't put the Dallas defense on the bench earlier, but it was just too tempting for me. You know, there's that one game they scored like 40 some points. You know, and you're just like, oh, that's going to happen again. But I don't know. At some point, I just like, nope, they're just too inconsistent.
Well, earlier in the year, I remember believing that you were somehow cursed to be connected to Dallas, whether they were on your bench or not. If they did well, you would win, and if they did not, you would lose. There seemed to be a strong connection there for a little bit.
It was.
So, but anyway, to answer your question, I did think about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I don't know. I think I got a chance.
Jordy.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. You know, ever since, and I say this in sincerity, ever since I made that trade, I kind of, both of those trades, and I got those 2 players, I kind of had this like little hope. But
I hope so. Otherwise, why would you do it?
As Chuck had said last week, though, it wasn't until the last game of the regular season that I beat a top 4 team. I had Chuck, Alex, and Dad all swept me. I swept Josh, Dave, and Kara, and then me and Sam went 1-1. So that's my 6-8. So like my record didn't show that I was doing well, and I never played well against the top 4 seeds. But the last regular season of the game, I beat Sam, and my team started to get kind of hot towards the end there. And so I kind of had a feeling that I could, I could go up against the big dogs. That's Chuck and Alex.
You've now beaten 3 top 4 teams in a row.
Yeah. So I haven't beat Dad yet this year, though.
No, you have not. To be fair, though, Jordan, your record does not really tell the whole tale because you were the unluckiest player this year as far as you had the most points scored against you. And so you had several games where you scored in the 120s and still lost because you just happened to be against one of the few better teams that week.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you guys. This is the most improbable, I think, if we would have picked it, matchup. I definitely don't think either of us had this matchup ideally. Like, I had this. I think this is this is what I'm rooting for, the underdog championship, but I didn't think this was going to
It is who you officially picked, though.
No, it wasn't. I picked Alex. I officially picked Alex to win. Sorry, Dad. I did officially pick Alex.
I think you picked Dad and I last week.
He did say he wanted it to be. Even when we were doing the initial preview before the playoffs started, he wanted it to be you too.
Yeah, like I just was like, it's a fun one because it's like not just the teams that were killing everybody.
So who do y'all want to win?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Anyway,
just by the way, it's been since 2020 that we've gone more than 1 year without a Keller winning. So, which is very hard to do when there's only 3 non-Kellers in the league.
That is pretty tough.
2, really.
No, Sam won twice.
That is true. Yeah. So my next question is, okay, so how do you feel going into this championship? Like, do you feel good? Do you feel like you got a chance? Like, do you think you have what it takes to win?
I sure hope one of them says, I don't believe I have a chance.
I have a good feeling, and this comes down to pure luck, but Dad kind of got the injury bug here in the last couple of weeks. With Jamar Chase gone. Who else?
Hawkinson now.
Yeah, Hawkinson's done.
Oh, he picked up Ferguson. I had that in my notes.
You already dropped him. But, yeah, Ferguson's a good pickup. But when I'm looking at, like, my matchups, McCaffrey is playing Washington. He could go off. That's a terrible team. I like my chances. That's what I'm saying. My weakest point is quarterback.
You don't even know if, yeah.
Tua's playing Baltimore defense, so that's not going to be great. Honestly, it might be worth trying to go find another quarterback.
They did bench Wilson, so his backup would be available.
Well, I'm thinking about, like, Baker Mayfield's out there.
It's true.
Baker Mayfield is a new MVP candidate, to be real.
So who knows? We'll see. We'll see who shows up.
You could do with the guy in the Browns. Is he still out?
Joe Flacco.
Flacco?
He'll crash eventually, though. I don't know if he'll
Win comeback player of the year.
How about you, Todd?
Well, honestly, up until a few days ago, I was very confident. I thought I got this, and I've been smack talking Jordy for the last couple of days. But the injuries make it now. I'm going to need an element of luck. Somehow, losing Hawkinson and Chase, I'm going to need one of my to just go crazy and have a career day. And I don't like playing like that. When you're doing hope, that's never a good place. Not with this anyway. So
all you can do is line up the best.
I'm not as confident as I was 3 days ago.
As I've said before, it's 70% luck, 25% skill, and 5% Christian McCaffrey. And unfortunately,
right. Yeah.
God.
I don't know if I have any horses that are going to overcome him. So,
Dave, are you going to pick up Christian McCaffrey first pick?
Davis had McCaffrey before, and he's been hurt.
Dude, if I pick up Christian McCaffrey, he's going to blow out his knee.
Dave, I was
going into reserve in the week too.
I was going to look back at this, but I feel like you probably could have had McCaffrey this year for round 10 or something if you had kept him as your keeper.
No, he was already when I dropped.
Well, never mind. Yeah, in 2020, you took him in the 3rd round as your keeper, so he would have been ineligible for you.
Yeah, he would have been ineligible.
He only scored you 79 points that year total.
Yeah, it was brutal.
He scored that about one game.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I do agree that the injury bug is hit. There's some things looking into this matchup that
we'll dig into the matchup.
We'll dig into it. So off that final score, what do you think you can do? What do you think if you had to if you just had to pick for tiebreaker purposes?
I've always wondered why it makes you do that. Nobody's picking the exact score.
Well, no one's ever getting. Yeah, you're talking about madness. Yeah. Tiebreaker purposes, what do you think final score is going to be?
Does Josh still have a chance of winning?
I mean,
he could.
He's the commissioner. He basically
there is an obscure rule that if you two tie, he can pick any of the 8 teams to be the winner. So.
Yes.
134 to 118.
134 to what?
134 to 118.
With the White Lightning victorious.
Are
you writing this down?
No, I'm not writing it down.
It's on video forever.
That is
true.
They
don't need to write it down.
134. You have scored over that a couple times. 3 times.
He's not scoring 134.
More like 150.
No.
We're going to set that record. We're not going to let Sam carry off that record for the year.
124 to 121. I'm going to go close.
I think it's going to be close.
3-point close.
I hope
Make it less than 2 points close and set the record.
Are there no Monday night games next week?
No, there's not.
This is the last
Everything's
Thursday
done
night
Sunday.
one,
So that means
the closest. Oh, I guess we'll get to that later. Never mind.
I'm thinking like Jordan's going to have his team by the end of the 3:00 game. We're going to know Jordan's total score. He's going to have. He's got Joe Mixon playing Sunday afternoon.
Blue Gold's got a couple night games.
One night game.
Oh, there's 2 different night games going on. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a Saturday night and a Sunday night. My gosh.
Interesting. So if it is close, Romeo Dobbs may be the decider. And Dad, you could have an option of switching out Romeo Dobbs for Addison.
Yeah, I've pondered it. I still haven't. That's why I looked. I don't have anybody playing tomorrow, so I have until Saturday night or Sunday morning to finalize what I got going on. My team's not set yet.
And Jordan Addison he didn't practice today, and apparently he's on injury.
Yeah, it's a tough call because again, you're going to have a nobody throwing to him, but it's the Packer defense. So it doesn't matter if a 7th grader is back there throwing the football; they're probably going to complete passes. So we'll see. Yeah, but yes, that's on my radar already.
Interesting.
I like the idea of going into the night saying, "Help me, Romeo Dobbs. You're our only hope."
Romeo.
Certainly,
Romeo. Where art thou?
Help me, Romeo. Juan. Romy Juan.
Love has been playing really well.
He has a good connection with Dobbs, but we'll see.
Yeah. I've even pondered not to give it away, but I don't even know 100 even going out and getting one of the getting Reed or Wicks. I don't know if any of them are available, but
I'm sure Wicks is.
I think Chuck has
defense.
Chuck has Jaden Reed.
I have Reed, but he's been injured. Is he back? I don't know if he'll be back.
But there's
I have one last tough question for you, Mr. Keller. If you're winning by 1 point coming into Sunday night, will you bench Romeo Dobbs to preserve the win?
Ooh. I suppose I could, couldn't I?
As Dave,
I did it once.
That's tanking.
Well,
it's not. That's true. Josh could cancel the championship for not.
Most dads would sacrifice anything for the benefit of their sons. I'm not that guy. So I would have to say, yeah, I probably would bench him.
Can't risk the foot injury
to preserve the win.
It doesn't happen often, but
what if he benched him and then a stat correction came around and gave one more point?
That would be killer. I think if it was that'd be tough because you don't know, if
Dave's been bit by the stat
gets one catch
and then fumbles it and gets knocked out of the game with a concussion or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
It happened to I think Alex. Oh, when he did. He started.
there was a game where a guy got hurt in one play and he got negative.
He started. Who was on the Browns? That was Watson or
Watson.
Deshaun Watson. He started Deshaun Watson and he literally
threw an interception and got hurt. Right.
He threw an interception and then got a concussion and had negative 1.2 points.
All right. Well, we'll have you ride along with us as we go through these games.
Yeah.
And I think we need to start with the game that everyone is most looking forward to. The reason that we are really here after 16 weeks The 7th place game.
Who's gonna take 8th place?
Because it doesn't matter in the draft. There's no reason to tank. It's
Kara-
pure pride.
Kara hasn't changed out her team in weeks, so Kara's
Well,
losing.
think of it. Both these guys have just been resting and waiting and re-strategizing. They're going to come in fresh as anybody's ever been.
It's possible.
You feeling good about this game, Dave? You a little nervous?
Man, I can't. I think even if Kara doesn't put the 2 guys in that she does, I think I still lose. I do not think my team.
Kara wins.
The only
She's got the stronger team.
The only thing,
even with a
that could
16-point projection.
Look at my team last week. I got 1 point more than she did. She had 63 points suggested last week and got 80.
Yeah.
I basically Taysom Hill is almost completely out of the game plan for the Saints right now, so I may have to swap him out for somebody.
You should have taken Ferguson.
I should have.
There's another one there. I can't think of who he is. I was debating between 2 of them. There's somebody else there that's equal to Ferguson. It was a toss-up for me. You'd have to look to see who it is, but there is another guy out there that's. Who is it?
Was it McBride? McBride, maybe?
Yeah.
He's been doing well for the Cardinals.
So for me, it was a toss-up. I just went with Ferguson just because I thought, Dallas can score a bunch of points.
Cole Kmet's out there, but he did not practice.
I think he's hurt.
Didn't practice Wednesday.
Well, here's some
high
stats.
risk.
Here's some stats for you, Dave. I believe you and Kara split this year in the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you split this year. But this is your – let's see here.
We were 7-7 and
Your 4th time playing each other in the postseason.
Mhm.
Right now, Kara has won 2 and you've won 1.
So I could split.
So you could split. And you're all time against each other. You have 7 and Kara has 10. You're pretty evenly matched. Historically.
Definitely not gonna I'm not gonna take this one lying down.
And I still think Kara should care at least a little because she has the only player in the league that has never finished 8th, other than Alex.
And I mean, to be fair, I really do think that it doesn't matter because she's going to beat me anyways. But
throw in her guys. If she had her team all in, I think she'd be projected around 111. But I don't know. I think the pleasures could end on a high note. I'm picking the McRibs
To lose.
to win.
Oh, okay. I'm picking the McRibs to win too.
I think it would be hilariously depressing if he loses. I'm picking him to win.
Is this like an all-time bad team, like worst team ever?
If he loses to a team that has benched half of them, he is. I think, didn't you set a record for the lowest point average in the Yahoo era?
I thought that happened because there's something because I had a stat correction, right? That screwed everything up.
Yeah, it took you down even more points. But that was just one game. I'm talking about for the year. I think you are possibly the lowest average. I'm not sure because Todd had a really awful 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So that could.
It was hard to. I remember that year. It was hard to stay motivated at the end. I barely did anything with my team. It's just like, man, these guys are awful. And no matter what you do, it's like it's going south.
Yeah, and there's just nothing on the waivers, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
What's your pick, Dave? Are you picking Kara?
I'm picking me.
Okay. You don't have to worry about picking Josh this week.
I don't have to worry about picking Josh. What do you guys think?
Well, I already gave my pick. I pick you.
I'm going with Kara, as I suggested.
I'm picking Dave. Dave to win.
Where are our pick'ems going into the last week, Dave?
Oh, so unfortunately, Chuck, yeah, I should talk about this. So
I whiffed on both of mine this last week, so
you got you got one correct. You got Sam
that's
correct. Outside of that, though, Josh got 2 correct. He picked correctly with Jordan and Dad. But he didn't picked what?
Josh picked you and I, or Dad and I?
Yeah. Surprisingly.
it was a Christmas.
And so right now, Josh has 35 correct. You have 34 correct.
In 3 games.
And Kara and I both have 28.
So I need him to get at least 2 wrong if I get all 3. It's gonna be tough.
And Alex and Sam and Jordan and Dad, you guys are all way down there.
Stick a fork in him.
Jordan's got 9 right.
I
I will say, Chuck, though, if it is tied, so let's say you tie Josh, like you both end up with like 36 or something, you would technically win because I would give it to you just because of the fact that you have picked every week versus Josh missed a week. So,
well, you could argue that Josh
you could argue that he did better than because taking a week off, he still.
Yeah, but then you could say Sam technically got,
yeah,
all of them. He didn't pick any of. He didn't get any wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would love to tie with Josh and have another discussion on Discord about how to resolve this.
Yeah,
just like last year.
This meaningless.
I will hang.
You could just do a little statistics extrapolation and figure out what Josh had. He didn't pick.
Yeah, we'll pick for him that week.
Add him in.
Yeah,
like
average 2 right or.
Well,
3.
I already know what he picked because he put his picks in. He just wasn't able to because he didn't.
Late.
He didn't actually put them.
He was like a half hour late, wasn't he?
It was like an hour or so late. So actually, I don't even know where.
But Dad, we don't want Josh to win anything. So
I agree.
It was only 2. It was the quarterfinals, so there were only 2 picks. He wanted to jump in, but I had already hit the cutoff, so he forgot to put him in. I want to say it was like 8:00 on, or it was like 9:30 or something like that when he was messaging, and I'm like, I gave Alex the same spiel. I basically told Alex he couldn't play or he couldn't go in because he wanted to put it in on a Friday once, and I was like, if I forgot, there was one time Alex put his in on a Friday because I just forgot to block off the Excel document. I didn't put in any restrictions. And so I'm like, well, if I forgot, you can go under the radar. That's fine. I'm not going to delete your picks. But if I've already hit the cutoff, if I put my cutoff in, you aren't going to be able to pick after that. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles.
All right. Well, let's check out the next game, the 3rd place game. We've got the number 1 seed, 11-4 Polecats versus the number 2 seed, 10-5 Destroyers. So we do still get the 1 and 2 seed matchup that we've all been craving so much.
Yep.
The last time the 1 and 2 seed met, the 3rd place game was 2018. And it's the only time this has happened when Kara edged out Sam for 3rd place.
Who was the number 1 seed? Sam. And Kara was the number 2.
Sam was number 1 and Kara was number 2. Yep.
There was a
that was the year Sam went 11-3 in the regular season, just like me, and lost both playoff games to finish 4th. Hopefully not just like me.
Yeah. I was like, seems crazy.
And that was the year before he then went and won the championship 2 years in a row.
Sure.
So he had that wonderful stretch there.
Alex has to be kicking himself because he outscored you and I both, Chuck, last past week.
Yeah. Please let it be Charlie in 3rd so he can get that little trophy icon he can't stop talking about. I'm all in for 3rd. I have the passion and the fire for third place because I like when I go back to my history and I see that little icon. Also, I don't want to risk losing my platinum status at the end of the year here. I want it to be sealed in platinum.
Yeah.
For all eternity. The Polecats swept the Destroyers in the regular season, winning week 4, 127-96, and week 11, 132-127. So I think it'll be a close game. I'm a little surprised at the 9.7 projection for Laporta against Dallas.
Yeah, that seems very high.
Is that game not at Dallas too?
It is
Yeah.
at Dallas.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough. They've been pretty
Dallas
good at home.
Dallas is 26th against it would technically be.
I just thought, because we've talked on numerous occasions about how Yahoo seems to be pretty conservative with projections, and that one seems a pretty.
I will say, I'm gonna go with. This is gonna get towards what I'm picking, but like if you look at, and again, I'm not the matchup king. I don't want to be like Alex and just be like all about the matchups, but his matchups are horrid. Tyreek against Baltimore, both of his Cowboys against the Detroit Lions.
Barkley against the Rams.
Yeah, like that's going to be his top scorers have some really hard games.
Yep.
Yeah, his best bets is ETN against Carolina.
And I think you're going
to
probably see. I feel like I keep saying this every week, but I think you're going to see a get-right game with the Chiefs here. Like, home game against Cincinnati, like, I think they have to, like, basically blow that team out of the water.
Well, I mean, it's just going to depend because my team was pretty great for many, many weeks, and then right before the playoffs started, it went into a slump, and it has not yet come out. And Hurts has become a turnover machine. Kelsey has become just an average tight end. I've lost Tank Dell. Keenan Allen lost his quarterback and then lost himself. So I've had injury troubles. I've had people just receding to the mean, I guess, if that's the correct term. Henry's been a little inconsistent. So I've just kind of lost. It's not like the team has changed that much, but I've lost a lot of the power that I had from the players. But I do generally like my matchups. Cincinnati and Kansas City is always a pretty big game. I don't know if I'll be starting Elliott against Buffalo. I might change out that position, although it looks like he must be Stevenson out again this week because his projection just went up a lot.
Yeah, Stevenson is on IR now, so he's.
I was happy with his showing against Denver. I don't know how we do against Buffalo though. But I do think it looks pretty good for me. I'm gonna pick the Polecats to do the 3-game sweep of the Destroyers, and the Destroyers will cause Rich to be crying for their postseason lump. Because Rich was, of course, the master of the postseason.
It's true. I'm picking Chuck. I think you have the best shot here. Charles, are you going with yourself?
Absolutely, Polecats.
Jordan?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Polecats, and I'm cheering for the Polecats.
Oh,
and I love Alex. He seems like a great dude. I think I've met him actually before in real life, but I think the worst case scenario would have been a first time person coming in and winning the league. So I like that he's being humbled and realizing that, the Keller clan is a strong force.
the real oligarchs and the power behind this league.
We're the Illuminati.
Me, Sam, and Alex are lucky to be allowed in your presence.
Yeah, we're the Illuminati. We have we're the underlying control of them.
But in reality, though, I'm glad Alex is part of the league. He's brought a lot of fun banter and comments, and it's honestly he's the exact opposite of Rich, exact opposite. So it's a nice It's a nice change.
The league is better when people are all communicating.
Yeah. But I still want him to lose.
Oh, me too.
Dad, who you got, Chuck or Alex?
Well, I'm just going to run upstream. I think Alex has got a shot at this one.
Ooh, only
He's just
one.
mad at me for all my downplaying of his team.
Maybe that's in the back of my mind.
All right, so now we get to the matchup we've all been waiting for.
Well, let me give you some championship statistics.
One for all the trophy right here.
Here's some
everybody.
He's just gonna keep singing.
Yeah.
So the highest score ever in a championship game was in 2021 when Jordan scored 154.44. The biggest blowout was also 2021 when Jordan took out Josh by 68.4.
Oh my goodness.
The smallest margin was when I took out Josh last year by 6.93.
Poor Josh.
I don't think he ever went back and actually put in those scores that we discussed.
No, he didn't.
He never did. He couldn't get over that. The lowest score ever in a championship game is Jordan in 2018 when he only scored 69.
Did I win?
No.
I'm kidding.
No. The lowest score in a win was last year when I scored 110 over Josh. The highest score in a loss was 2020 when Kara scored 136 and still lost to Sam. And I'm sure that was a great weekend at Dave's house.
I remember that. Yeah, that was rough.
She would have been tired.
There was an absolutely she thought she was going to win that game. I think it was. What was the thing? There was somebody who scored some insane number that it was like Sam. That was in what year?
Was that a Mixon?
2020. I've got it up here actually.
That's not when Mixon scored 50, was it?
Kamara got 57 for Sam.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara got 57 points.
I think he had 6 touchdowns that game.
Yeah, it's gross.
That is.
There was it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, he had 6 rushing touchdowns, and one of them was 40 plus yards. So
that's awful.
And since Josh prefers quality touchdowns, he'll give more points for those big ones.
Yeah.
In our league. The highest composite score in the championship game was 2020. Obviously, Sam and Kara combined to get 290. And the lowest score was in 2018 when Dave and Jordan played each other and could only muster 199 points together.
Nice.
I have a feeling, I don't think Dad or I are going to break any records. It seems like we're both kind of just averaging in the 120s or so.
This is going to be a low-scoring affair. Again, barring luck. I mean, you never know, but
we'll both get over 100.
We got the Blue Golds in their first ever championship game appearance. The White Lightning, Jordan, is looking for his second championship in his third appearance and trying to yo-yo first to eighth to first. Probably eighth next year if he gets
and with the amount of draft picks he has next year, eighth place.
Just think that a guy with 14th and 15th round picks could really do something.
If I wanted to keep my fourth rounder, I could go without a first, second, or third.
Yeah. The 3 seed has made the final game 4 times, but has only won once, and that was Dave in 2018. That was also the only time that it played a seed lower than it, which is this year when we've got Jordan in the 5th seed. So perhaps the 3 seed is set up well to take it. The only time a seed below 5th has been in the game was in 2016 when Dave's 6th seed finished second. Jordan is 9-6 in postseason since 2016, and Todd is 4-6 since 2018.
Hey, I was going to ask you, besides Alex, because this is his first year, and me, obviously, because I know, has anybody else not ever won?
Kara
has not won.
Everyone else has won at some point.
Josh has never won in our league either.
Oh, yeah, Josh has never won.
But he's been in the finals, it sounds like, a bunch of times.
Kara's been in the finals.
So you
Alex,
would, Alex would now be the only player who's never been in the finals. But
finals.
Okay.
So we've been talking about the players. They've been pretty good rivals this year. The the Blue Golds swept the White Lightning this year, week 1. They were actually the rivals this year. This was the rival matchup back in week 8 when we were having rival week. So that's another feather in the cap of Josh for figuring out the schedule.
Good job, Josh.
On that one. Week 1, the Blue Golds won 132 to 120, and in week 8 they put up 146 to 121. And this is the second time that you two have met in the postseason.
I think you took me out last year, didn't you?
You met in 2020 in the game for 7th place.
Oh, okay.
And the
I
buck stops here.
I don't think we've played any significant games.
No, the buck stops here won 129 to 95. All time you've played each other, Jordan has 8 wins and Todd has 7.
Okay.
Oh wow,
So very, very even.
very even.
So we've talked about the players here, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't comment on the Blue Golds because I obviously fail every time I give an opinion on one of their positions. So I'll just leave it to the owner there to do it. I wouldn't be shocked to see McCaffrey put up 40 on the Commanders, honestly.
Yeah,
However, I feel like both of your teams have a lot of not great matchups.
No, not a bunch of great ones.
Not necessarily all terrible, but not all great. Most of them are in the bottom half of what you want to see there. So I don't, it's possible that McCaffrey puts up a 40 and the rest of the team isn't able to.
What Dad could hope for is that they score a bunch without McCaffrey and then eventually just take him out because they're probably going to handily win that game.
But after their kind of embarrassment against the Ravens, they might just go all in and try to pop over the 70 mark that the Dolphins put up earlier.
It's true.
Well, he's pretty smart. Shanahan, it makes sense to me that they're gonna probably, that's gonna be well in hand early. I could see McCaffrey being on the pine.
That would probably be one of the best case scenarios is them preparing for the playoffs by rest.
Yeah, hope for an early giant lead, and then they bench him in the middle of the third quarter.
But if it's close at all, Dad, you and I were talking about they are vying for that first seed still.
Right, they're playing to win that baby because they want the number 1 seed. So
they're definitely going to play it as long as it's close.
Yeah,
but
I've
never.
But honestly, Washington has become.
Is that Jacoby? I think they said Jacoby Brissett's playing. Or no?
Jacoby Brissett is playing for Washington?
Yeah. No, he's in for someone else, I think. Isn't he? I know they're not. Yeah, it is Brissett. They're not starting Howell anymore, which is, as I've been saying, Howell's a terrible quarterback and nobody should start him.
Except me.
Except the Blue Golds. They should definitely be starting.
Josh Dobbs and
everyone I picked, every single time I have picked someone to go on the Blue Golds, they have become terrible. So maybe you should just come to me and I'll tell you who I think, and then you just stay away from those people like you've been doing. So I don't know. It's tough. I'll tell you, I'm rooting for the Blue Golds.
Naturally, yeah.
I would love to see a first-time champion. I would hate to see the results of this trading equaling a championship.
He traded you though.
He traded more sensibly though. 7th rounder. I did a 7th rounder last year. I don't hate all trades. I hate top round trades.
What's the big trade that is bugging you?
Oh, just a team becoming much better just because they're throwing away next year's draft.
Jordan.
I know what specifically did you do?
I traded a 3rd round pick for Eckler, and it's a conditional 1st rounder if I win the championship. Dave gets my 1st round pick, and then I traded a 2nd round pick for Amon-Ra St. Brown to Kara.
Okay.
And Deebo Samuel.
And I gave her Deebo Samuel, which interestingly, Deebo has gone off since that trade.
Except last week, but yeah.
Except last week.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'd be feeling much worse if that 4th round for him had gone through. I mean, look at the value he's brought you. 2nd round is much better for that. But I just hate trades, It's me. It's who I am.
You like player to player trades though, right?
I love player for player trades. I love a trade where both teams can go out of it and say, I think I can immediately get better.
Yeah. This was a case where my team got better quickly. Dave and Kara's team got potentially better next year.
The two of them together will have over a quarter of the first 25 picks. So it should be that.
If you come in 7th or 8th next year, I think you might just quit.
It's going to be problematic.
Plus, remember, Dave has Jefferson as his 14th round keeper.
Yeah. It's technically, I think, 13th round because I don't have a 14th round.
Although the Vikings may well be starting a rookie next year or somebody who's not great. So
that is
Probably,
true.
yeah.
I have no idea.
You don't think Kirk Cousins is going to be back?
No way.
They're not going to.
He's gone.
He'll go somewhere, but he's not going to go there.
No.
So I guess my official pick for the championship here is going to be the White Lightning.
Oh.
But I'm rooting for the Bulldogs.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But
Interesting.
it would be fun to watch Jordan not get a pick until number 25.
I will say, Jordan, now, granted, this is going to be a tough call for you to make, obviously, but I was just looking it over. Eckler did have his starter role resumed under the new head coach.
Was Eckler not the starter?
No, basically the last two or the games before the last since like week 12, he's basically like taken a reduced role. And then once the head coach got fired, he got put back on as the number 1 running back.
Oh,
Yeah, but he still has not performed. I don't think he's gotten over 10 points in weeks.
He got 10.5 last week. But he got 65 yards. He rushed 15 times for 65 yards, caught 3 of 4 for 20.
His benefit has always been his receptions.
Yeah,
he does have the greenest of green matchups because they're playing Denver. And the last time he played Denver, he got 19 or 18 and a half.
Yeah, but he didn't have Easton Stick throwing to him.
Yep.
Who's that?
Yeah,
exactly.
Stick. Easton Stick.
Yeah.
What a terrible name.
That is a
I was listening
bad
to
football
today,
game.
I think like almost half the league is starting backup quarterbacks this week or something like that.
Crazy year.
Wait, who was their starter? That's Chargers, right?
Herbert.
That should be Herbert. What's wrong with Herbert?
He got hurt. He broke his thumb.
Yeah, he broke his thumb.
Hey, Brett Favre played through that.
Yeah, I thought Brett Favre played through a busted
Brett
thumb.
Favre was still in playoff contention when he broke his thumb.
True.
Yeah.
Well, no, and Brett Favre didn't. He never was going to let him get benched because of an injury. He was
already addicted to painkillers, so might as well just take more.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
who's your pick, Dave?
Man, I think I'm going to pick Jordan. It could go either way, though, man.
I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be any sort of blowout here.
No,
I think
I could see it being in that same range that Todd said, that 125 to 121. I would love it to be the closest. I mean, what is it? I said like 6.5 is the current closest ever championship. I could see this breaking that.
Yeah.
I certainly hope that nobody ends up with a scary injury that cancels the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember that last year, Dad?
Oh, yeah. That was bad. They
did have a Monday night in this week last year.
Yeah, they did. Oh, but it wasn't New Year's Day, though, that time.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It
was New Year's Eve. No, I don't know.
I can't remember. No, it would have been the day after New Year's Day. So DeMar Hamlin. Yeah, let's hope we don't have any of that. Yeah, honestly, like for me, love to see Dad take the championship. Underdog. He's been chugging along in this league for quite a while, sitting at the bottom, rise up to the top would be
He's
awesome.
had a great 2 years. He's had a great 2 years.
And then you got Jordan, who has had varying degrees of success and failure in the league. Obviously, I have stakes in the game. I legitimately have money on the line here.
Huh?
Well,
that's the correct use of the word legitimately, but okay.
Okay, so I have not money, but I have some sort of
unless there's some collusion going on.
I have collateral here. I got some collateral in this game. So would it be fun to have the first 3 of the first 10 picks? Sure. That'd be pretty. That'd be pretty nice.
Would you have 1, 8, and?
I'd have 1, 8, and 9.
8, 9.
And Kara would have 2, 10, and 11. No, 10 and 16.
2, 10, and 16. Yeah.
Chuck, I think I'm with you. It sounds like there's some collusion going on. We need the commissioner to get involved here, and maybe he's just going to disqualify the 2 of them from for the rest automatically.
Call for immediate investigation.
Well, I think that if I was disqualified, we'd have to put Chuck against you in the championship game
again.
I think he'd be feeling a little more confident.
I could see McCaffrey get Elvin Kamara kind of game against the stupid Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
So there's a high degree of possibility of that.
Yourselves?
What?
Yourselves?
Yeah. 134, 118.
Both picking yourselves. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, well, again, if you saw my very first post, when this first started up, I wrote, you were talking about the trophy, and then I asked, is there a prize for Jordan for second place?
Yep.
So
there is.
There's a trophy
stand.
There's no second place trophy. There's
the second place trophy icon. I will cherish my third place one.
Your little bronze trophy. I mean, you got to be pretty happy, Chuck, with this year in general. You've been in platinum pretty much. You've been platinum level for like pretty much the entire year.
It's been a pretty tremendous ride these last 2 years. I will say that. Like I told my wife, you just at some point start to feel like you're just going to win. And so it was a little humbling to lose last week, but we'll be back.
I mean, you got 2 silvers.
It was hard. I had to stay up later reading my book on Monday night to get.
So Chuck, we talked about any teams that have never made the championship. Have you ever come in last? You did, didn't you?
I finished last in 2020.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, 2020. I finished last. I was the 7th seed, and then I lost both consolation games. And that was before. I don't know if in 2000. When did we start the picks being based on finishing? Because I don't know if I got the first round pick the next year or not.
We've always had it based on. We've always had it based
random.
It used to be random,
and that must have been a while ago.
Oh, I did. I had the first round pick in 2021. Okay, I took Dalvin Cook. Look at that lineup. I had Dalvin Cook, Tyreek Hill, George Kittle, Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
I want that team back this year.
Good Lord.
Except Dalvin Cook. He's nothing.
Well,
his little brother.
Yeah.
I'll trade him out for Breece Hill.
Breece
Hall.
Breece Hall, sorry. Not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are there any threads to tie up here?
No, I don't think so. This is fun. Thanks for coming on, guys. Good work,
man.
I know I'll be glued to that 7th place game, and
it starts tomorrow.
Does indeed. I don't do. Neither of you have one in.
I don't have anybody playing tomorrow.
I'm still up in the air if I want to put Cooper in there. But
he does seem to have a Joe Flacco connection.
Yeah, him and Joey Flacco have been.
I've got my Cleveland. I will say this. I forgot to say this. I put in for a defense again, and I was like, all right. I know Jordan can't take it from me this time. he fell behind. So I was like, maybe the Blue Gold are the only ones that maybe would take it over me, but they didn't. So I got my Cleveland defense.
Chuck, it's so interesting how close and how many things just didn't go your way. Like you said, your kicker getting hurt, you win the game if he doesn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm. The pick six.
If you get that defense, you win. If you get that pick, if they don't get a pick six, you win by, like, if all those things don't happen, you probably win by 15, 20 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a game of little bits of luck.
It's a lot of luck.
Sure is. But we act like we have some control.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or at least when we're winning.
Yeah.
Does make you feel good. So what are the chances, Mr. Keller, of Dave having a fourth terrible year in a row? Statistically speaking.
He's due for a good year, Dad.
Yeah, right.
I'm due.
No, there is no such thing. I honestly, with those picks, I don't see how he doesn't finish near the top, unless you do something completely stupid. I
obviously have not been very good.
Take Aaron Rodgers' first pick. Come on.
I've not been very good at my drafting as of late, but again, talking it over with the GM about switching over my drafting responsibilities to McAI.
My gosh, Dave, your first draft picks just did not work. Austin Eckler, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave were your first 3 picks.
Yeah. Well, so again, Garrett Wilson, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally different if you got
Aaron Rodgers. I think we have a totally different. Aaron Rodgers doesn't blow out his Achilles in the first game. Chris Olave, I don't know why I've been really stuck on him. I should just really avoid sophomore wide receivers in general, because most wide receivers have a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
And it just feels like every wide receivers, like Justin Jefferson and Tyreek and stuff, like they're the very few outliers that it's like they have this they just have this crazy career where it's
you passed up Tyreek Hill for Eckler.
Yep.
Dave, mark my words, Dave. If you don't pick Marvin Harrison Jr., first pick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Yeah, he just didn't he just like say he was gonna go to the draft?
Yep. He's gonna be a stud.
He's a game changer. For real.
If you don't pick Christian McCaffrey, I think you're ridiculous if you don't pick Christian first. So
I really think Bijan Robinson has a bounce back year next year, and it's probably worth that.
I mean, I think he will have an all right year.
I think he will.
They'll get a coach that actually wants to use him.
Or Jahmyr Gibbs. Man, he's.
Yeah, but Gibbs could be kept.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of I don't know who I'm going to keep for next year. I've got a couple of guys that's one of them that's a possibility.
Yeah, a 4th round pick for him would be pretty good.
Is that what he's?
He would be a 4th round pick for you next year. Yeah,
because you picked him 5th.
That's pretty good.
He'll probably be in the top 15 otherwise.
It's him or Jackson. And I'm just like, Jackson he's been real steady here on the end and MVP candidate and all that, but he's injured so much. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I kept
Hurts. Keeping Hurts has made me question the practice of keeping quarterbacks.
You still have the option of keeping Jamar Chase too,
I passed up on other stuff. I passed up on keeping St. Brown for keeping Hurts, and I think things might be a little different if I had done.
Oh, that's right.
What did you say, Dave?
I mean, Jamar Chase is still within keeper status because I think you had him pretty low, like 12th or 11th or something like that.
Yeah, I had him pretty low originally, and again though, oft injured. So
yeah,
Gibbs has been solid
better
all year long.
Well, once they started playing him, they were heavy with David Montgomery for a while.
Now David Montgomery is basically not even being used.
No.
All right. I think next week, as we wrap up our championship, we'll probably do some looking ahead at potential keepers for people. Our thoughts on that early on.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, best of luck to both of you.
Yeah.
You too, Chuck. Go Chuck.
Thank you.
Go Dave. Or yeah, Dave. Dave's winning.
Go Dave. May we
No.
all win next week.
Sure. Sure thing. All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Thanks
Thanks.
for coming.
Yeah.